Hey everybody, what's good? Welcome back. JB here with another CyberInsight live stream. We're doing day 15 of the Advent of Cyber. So let's just jump into this. If you have any questions as we move through, throw it in the chat, all that other good stuff. So today's task is dealing with one of the biggest security concerns when it comes to web applications, and that is input validation. So input validation, really the importance of it is making sure that someone isn't able to send commands or upload malicious files to a web application. And so if we don't have something put in place to stop someone from doing that, then we can get into some kind of nastiness. We have different types of potential such as SQL injection, cross-site scripting, unrestricted file uploads, things like that, that can end up leading towards someone being able to remotely exploit a web application. So in this room, we're going to dive into that a little bit, a few different things, hit the start machine to get that spun up, and then spin up the attack box, and we'll just kind of move through all of this stuff. So the objectives for the room, understanding what input validation is, specifically when dealing with file upload functionality, talking about unrestricted file upload vulnerabilities, the potential of actually phishing through the use of file uploads, and then how to properly secure a web application and its file upload functionality. So unrestricted in unrestricted file uploads. So we're talking about the ability to upload files to a server. And specifically, the fact that this has become so ubiquitous across all different types of web applications. So we're talking about uploading resumes, files, other types of text documents, code up on GitHub. These are all different types of applications that allow users to upload into those applications. The problem becomes if these aren't coded properly and protected, file uploads can open up severe vulnerabilities within the server. So it can be anything from some minor issues all the way up to remote code execution. With unrestricted uploads access to a server, an attacker could deface or otherwise alter existing content. I did mention cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery. There's a whole bunch of dangerous things that can end up coming out of this. So with unrestricted file uploads, we kind of have two different main exploitation paths that we care about here. So if an attacker can retrieve the uploaded file, it could lead to code execution if the attacker uploads a file such as a web shell. Another one is if the file is viewed by a user. So for instance, if we are uploading different types of text documents somewhere, and then that has some type of malicious code embedded in it, maybe like a macro or something like that, and the user opens that up, clicks on something in there, you have the potential of that end up executing on the device, and you could end up having some type of remote shell there as well. So let's take a look at what we have going on here. We're going to be looking at RCEs through web shells, or it says there has been quite a lot of focus on RCE through web shells in previous rooms. So on this task, we're going to focus on the latter exploitation path, which is kind of almost a phishing attempt. So as far as the story goes, Sen is looking to hire a new staff for a security team. They want to hire a freelance developer, and has hired a freelance developer to create a web application where candidates can upload their resumes. Alpha McSkitty is aware that third-party risks can be serious and has tasked you, Exploit McRed, with testing this application before it goes live. Since the festivities are right around the corner, we have to focus on the core features of the website, namely the ability to upload a resume. Alpha McSkitty has provided us with the latest version of the application. So we've already started up the machine. We got our attack box up, and we are just going to navigate to this particular IP address and see what we have going on. So we can just hop over here. Copy this. Bring up Firefox. We can drop that right in here. And let's see what we got going on. So we have what looks like a website, Santa Sidekick 2. We got homepage, privacy page, and it says Santa Sidekick CV upload for special elves. Do you think you've got what it takes to be Santa's sidekick? Upload your CV here, and we'll be in touch. So it allows us to browse. We can kind of look and see if we have something that we can upload here. Documents, instructions. So this is just a text file. Let's see what happens if we do this. And upload it. It says, okay, so we are able to upload a text file. It's been uploaded. Santa's team will review your CV and get in touch. Santa believes in strong security. The file's been stored outside of the web root. No unethical elves allowed. So I think there's some issues that come necessarily if we upload a file into the web root folder. It probably I think they're going to go into it a little bit as we're reading through stuff, but I think it potentially allows us to call back to that particular file that's been uploaded. And so if we had some type of shell there or something like that, or configurations for a shell like that, we could end up calling that file, and then it could potentially end up opening a shell back to us. So I think that's why they want to keep that outside of the web root. But so we were able to upload a text file. Let's see if they have any other type of protection or validation there. We can go, that was under instructions. All I'm going to do is take this and we're going to make a copy of this. And we're going to rename it. Now we're going to make it an exe. So we can see if there's going to stop us from uploading. Maybe, ideally, it should only be allowing us to upload like a .doc file, or even better would be like a PDF. So let's see if there's any type of controls on the type of files that can be uploaded. So let's go back here, this exe. Nope, and we see that we were able to upload that. So that is definitely not a great thing. So let's see what they were having us do here. So we went here, as we can see, the website allows you to upload a CV. They want us to create like a PDF and upload it. And we see that it kicks back the message about the web root. The message also tells us there will be a human, or elf more specifically, interaction with a file, because they're talking about Santa's team will review it. So this calls for further investigation. Let's see what happens when we try to upload something other than a PDF. Okay, so they're doing an exe as well, and they're able to do the same thing. So we are able to get a malicious file up onto the website or the web app. So they're talking about why the fuss over the web root. So why would a developer take care to store files outside the web root? Web servers are fairly simple things. You request a resource, and the web server then responds with a resource. The magic happens when a request resource has a specific file type. Since this is a .NET application, the following resource types would be considered special: ASP, ASPX, CSHTML. When a resource is requested with one of these file types, the web server will first execute some instructions found in these pages before sending the compiled response back to the user. Here's an example of a ASPX instruction. If we could upload any file that we wanted, we could upload one of these special types of pages, like an ASPX web shell. If this file is stored in the web root, we could request that file from the server, forcing the server to execute the code within our file before sending the response. So that, in essence, was what I was talking about, of being able to get a web shell back. It would be possible to get remote code execution on the server. However, if the file is stored outside the web root, we cannot make this request that would retrieve our uploaded file for execution. But this isn't sufficient for two main reasons. Other vulnerabilities, such as local file inclusion, may exist that allows us to force the web server itself to recover the file that was stored outside the web root. If the web server recovers the file, the code within the file could be executed. And while we cannot perhaps get an RC using vulnerability, we know that actual users will interact with the file. So the fact that they said that someone would be reviewing, if we upload a malicious file that is specifically targeted to have somebody open that up, malware is embedded in that, then we could end up doing something to end up exploiting that box. So what we're talking about here is doing that exact thing. So creating some type of malicious file and uploading it to the website. So what they're going to have us do here, it looks like create something with MSF Venom. So we were looking at Metasploit the other day. MSF Venom allows us to take modules within Metasploit and actually create an exe or other types of applications. In this case, it looks like we're just going to be using Meterpreter to create a reverse shell. Let's see if there's anything else that this says here. So we're going to create a resume with a malicious macro embedded. However, since we're on Santa's red team and this is a security assessment, we only need a proof of concept. So we're going to generate this with the Meterpreter module localhost. We're going to have to get our IP of what we're sending this from. Local port, we're just going to make up some random port. We're going to make up one that isn't being used by other services. And the file type is exe. And then the output, it's going to be cv-username.exe. So we can definitely copy this over and drop this in. Once we do that, it will create this exe, and then we can use Metasploit. Remember, we used that MSF console command before, and we're going to turn on Meterpreter listening for a reverse shell. We're going to set up the IP, our local IP, and the port that we're listening for. So let's see how this looks. Let's go drop this in. Okay, we can make the port be whatever we want it to be. We'll just go something easy to remember, 888. And then we do need the IP address here. So let's close this out. Let's open up a terminal. Let's go ifconfig. We're going to need the IP address. So it's 10.10.193.200. 10.10.193.200. And copy this. Let's open up another terminal. And we can paste this in. And then let's see what happens. That should take a minute for that to generate that .exe. Okay, now let's see where we are. PWD, we're under root. Let's see if we can see that here. Yep, there's the exe right there. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is spin up Metasploit, get Meterpreter module running, so listening for that connection, and then we'll go upload that exe to the website. So let's do this. And we can keep that here just so that I can see what needs to be replaced. We went with 888. And then localhost was 10.10.193.200. 10.193.200. That looks good. All right, let's go drop that in. Give that a second to run. All right, so that is up and running and waiting for something to be able to connect back. Now let's go back to the web browser. Let's open this up. home. Here we go. Here is the exe we created. Let's go ahead and upload this. And we see right here that it has been uploaded. So now we can go back to our interpreter session. Blow that up a little bit. Now we're just going to wait to see that connect back. Let's see what they say. Give it a few minutes. So pretty much whenever one of those elves ends up opening up that file. And there we go. Now we have that interpreter session open. So let's see, PWD. Okay, so we're in Windows System 32. We could use LS if we wanted to see all the stuff that was in there. Let's go back up. Under Windows. Just get to C drive, see what's here. LS. So we got a bunch of stuff in here within the C drive. Also, a kind of cool thing with Interpreter is, like, if you want to look for specific things and we don't know what that is, we can just go help. And there's a lot of different options that we have here. So maybe, like, I want to know what user. I want to know what user I am. Right? So, and if I don't know what user I am, I could go the get UID. Let's see. So I'm logged into this account, or exploited this account with or exploited this server with this account HR elf. So that would have been the elf that would have clicked that file open. So that's kind of cool to know. If we want to see some other stuff, like for the website itself, so on Windows servers, we're normally going to see that under inet pub. So the www root. Okay. And we can cd Santa. What do we got here? So Santa sidekick appears to be the application, or sidekick 2, I should say. And if we wanted to see the uploads that we did, we can actually cd into uploads. And we can see these are actually all the files that I ended up uploading. So let's go back and see what else they say here. So properly securing the file. To adequately secure the file upload feature, we can implement a few different things. This is the base upload function here. The only thing that it looks like they've done is the developer made sure to store the CV outside of the web root by putting it here. However, this is not sufficient. So they're going to walk us through a few different things that we could do here to improve this. Again, we don't need to know C++ to really get this. It's kind of just more talking about the high-level concepts of what we have here. So file content validation, we would have something like this, that when the file is uploaded, if the content isn't actually a PDF, it will reject. So you see if it says if, and then this bang here, so it means not. So if the content type doesn't equal PDF, then allowed equals false. So it wouldn't allow it to happen. File extension validation, same type of thing, except we're looking at it in essence being a .pdf. So if it doesn't have that extension, then allowed would equal false. So far we've made sure that the content is a PDF, the file extension is PDF. They talk about another thing to protect is making sure that an attacker isn't uploading files that are gigantic and taking up too much space on the system. So we could do file size validation. So max file size. So if the content size is smaller than max file size, then it would be allowed. Or I guess I should say if the content size is greater than the max file size, allowed is false. Same thing. File renaming. So this here, we're looking at renaming the file so that once it is on the server, the attacker wouldn't be able to recover their file by the particular name that they know that they uploaded. And then the last thing they have here is malware scanning. So you're going to use ClamAV, which is a antivirus that we see on different operating systems. Normally I've seen it on Linux. I don't know that I've necessarily seen it used on Windows, but maybe they know something I don't. So if the scan result comes back with a virus detected, then allowed equals false. So when we take all these different things together, and someone who's writing good code is going to put good notes here. So just looking down all of this script here for protecting things we see. So we're making sure that the files are stored outside the web root. We're creating a new file name. We're validating the content type to make sure that it is a PDF. We're validating the content extension to make sure it's a .pdf. We're making sure that the file isn't too large, and we're scanning it for malware. And then if all of that passes, then the file is allowed to be uploaded. Cool. All right, let's answer these questions. So what is a name given to a file upload that allows threat actors to upload any files that they want? I believe that's unrestricted. What is the title of the web application developed by Santa's Freelancer? We actually saw that because we were just in here. So it's Santa Sidekick 2. What is the value of the flag stored in HRELF documents directory? Ooh, okay, so let's see. Where were we again? I think we were all the way in the web root. Okay, so let's go cd. Let's go back here. cd should be back up the top. Okay, so to get there, I think it's users. Let's see. Yeah, so we should be able to cd into users. And then, okay, there's the user HRELF. Let's see what we have here. I think they said documents, right? And then, oh, there's a flag file there, so we can cat that. Cool. Let's copy that over. Let's see. Okay, what defense technique can be implemented to ensure that a specific file type can be uploaded? Specific file type. So there was two that we were looking at. So I think that's file extension validation. What defense technique can be used to make sure that a threat actor cannot recover their file by simply using the file name? That was that renaming. File renaming, yep. And what defense technique can be used to make sure malicious files that can hurt elves are not uploaded? So I think that's malware scanning. Cool, cool. All right, so that was it for all of this. Hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it. Got to do a little bit of MSF Venom, which is pretty cool as far as creating some malicious payloads. Reverse TCP shell, pretty good too. And then talked about some ways that we can try to secure a file upload function. So, all right, well, it was fun for me. Hope it was fun for you. We'll be back tomorrow, and I think that's what, day 16. So, yeah, appreciate it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you later. All right, bye.